question is that the motion moved by the Prime Minister be agreed to, and I call the honourable member for Wentworth.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. I rise today to mark the solemn one-year anniversary of Hamas's October 7 terrorist attack on Israel, a devastating attack that claimed more Jewish lives in a single day than any since the Holocaust. October 7 was not just an assault on Israel, it was an affront to humanity. Men, women, children were slaughtered without mercy, not just Israelis, not just Jews, from 30 countries and 5 religions, tortured, murdered, raped, taken as hostages. This was not a military intervention. These were not targets of soldiers or military targets. They deliberately targeted in civilians, men, women, children, grandchildren, to drive fear and horror and undermine any sense of safety. And people were frightened. This attack awakened family memories of anti-Semitic attacks in different times and distant nations. But we cannot let the terrorists write this story. We have to write a new story after this. And so last night I was part of a wonderful commemoration of October 7. Over 10,000 people came together in my community to mourn, but also to stand together in strength. We heard from young Israelis who lived and survived October 7, and we saw it in the courage of the families and friends of hostages in those commemorations last night. These are the people who have stood with strength. The events of October 7 have not just had a devastating impact on Israelis, it has created a horrifying loss of life on all sides. Because Hamas didn't just kill Israelis, it led to a devastating loss of life of Palestinians. Hamas didn't protect the people it claimed to lead, it hid its weapons behind civilians and it used them as human shields. And over 40,000 Palestinians have died, many of those innocent civilians. This has now escalated into a broader conflict with Hezbollah, the Houthis and Iran, an axis of evil that seeks to plunge the region into deeper violence and instability, which I condemn. And once again, I acknowledge what people have said about the anti-Semitism that people have seen in this place. And to be honest, this is one of the biggest concerns of my community, with the biggest Jewish community in the country. I have had children who talk about being abused on the streets for being Jewish, and kids who are afraid to going to university because they are Jewish. This is unacceptable. But I have to talk briefly to this motion. I was not part of the bickering of the major parties that has led to this divided House today, and I am so disappointed. I condemn October 7, I condemn the actions of Hamas, I mourn the Israelis that have died, but I also mourn the innocent Palestinians and Lebanese civilians that have died. These people are somebody's children. I wish that we as a parliament could come together and lead unitedly. I would have supported this motion had it been separated into 2 motions, one on October 7, one recognising the pain that the last year had brought. Even on separate days, we could have found a way through this, and I am once again disappointed by this House and the politicisation of this issue, because the country is looking for us to come together. The country is hurting. There are people who have lost friends and families across our communities. They are hurting, and we are not helping these people. I support, on the record, because I know this is politicised, I do support Israel's right to defend itself, its right to respond. Respond right now. I do not support a one-sided imposed ceasefire on Israel. I'm entirely clear of this. But of course, like so many other people, I pray for peace. And the only way we will get that, I believe, ultimately, is if we have 2 states living next to each other. This is a peace that I pray for, and I wish to God that this Parliament could actually make a contribution towards it.
Order.